Really
Yeah,
great work.
Well, speaking of intergenerational, there's an event you came to, I think several times, to River Sing.
My favorite.
Your favorite.
Event.
Oh, it's my favorite too.
Event.
Yes.
There's something about it, the singing, the music, and this year was, before it rained, was quite balmy, but it makes the river very magical. It really does. I really enjoy going there.
And of course, part of the magic is how about revels contribute. Revels who are famous for the Christmas revels in Sander Theatre, but here, in a way, to me, that feels like the outdoor, the real life revels. With all the singing, and this is a wonderful. And I know you were both at the Parklands as well as then in the Wild Boathouse, and then the Parklands really come alive. And this year was particularly beautiful because we had these boats, a moon boat and a sun boat, and they came down the river. So that was very magical.
It's always wonderful. It's something you really mark on your calendar and look forward to. I see this picture. You had the musicians going across the Weeks Footbridge, which is a really nice spot to sort of take in the river. If you stand on that bridge looking in either direction, it's really quite, excuse me, lovely. When speaking again about weddings, that I've done a couple right on that bridge.
On the bridge?
Yeah.
And it's on this bridge that by full moon there's tango dancing, the Boston Tango Society.
That's something I didn't know.
Oh, well, this is
something to look forward to.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very, you just show up at night and there's music and there's some tango instructors and people dance on the Weeks Bridge.
Great information.
Yeah. But you had mentioned earlier about swimming and that your father was swimming and probably he swam at Magazine Beach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine all the people there. They just didn't know how dirty the river was. It wasn't that the water was clean. Actually, the water today is so much cleaner. It's probably the pollution of the river started at about 1630 and got worse and worse. Okay. So now the
then your work is even more important and tremendous. If we've gone back that far with, I didn't know that it was not at its best.
It was ignorance it was ignorance rather than safe water. But there were some exciting structures on the river. There were quite a few floating bathhouses on the river. Wow. And you came to an event this summer. It was early in the fall. That the Charles River Conservancy jointly did with Swiss Next, the Consulate of Switzerland. And I think I have a picture of you looking with your wonderful Sunday hat. You're looking through a Swiss cross. Do you remember what you saw through that cross?
It was sort of the super impression of a bathhouse on the river. What it would look like. It was fabulous. I'm looking forward. It's not there yet.
Oh, well, we're working on it. So what people would see through the Swiss cross is a swimming structure, and a swimming structure like this one here that is from Zurich. And so that is what we're planning to have eventually on the Charles. It still needs to be designed, and there's quite a bit of work.
That's going to be fabulous.
That needs to be done on that. But so this is what happened that day with the Swiss consulate, because they showcased Swiss swimming in Swiss lakes and rivers. So that is where Cambridge is headed. And then, of course, there's also the swim that took place in the Charles River.
That's right, I remember that.
And so there were over 100 swimmers there. And I know you were coming to lend support and tell your story about that your parents swim and your children swim.
That's right.
And because the river was so dirty, you kind of were the generation that lost out.
Oh, right. We would go to the river, but not in the river.
Yes. Yeah. So there are, I can imagine, there are a lot of issues also as mayor that come to you, issues along the river. And if we go to the map, to some of the wonderful issues that of things that happened along the river, where the river is very fat in front of MIT. There's something that happens there that has received very little attention and press, and that is that it was the MDC, which is now the DCR, the State Park Agency. They created more parkland.
Mm-hmm.
And where does that ever happen? They removed a lane of traffic,
Mm-hmm.
they removed a lane of parking,
Mm-hmm.
and added new parkland.
Right.
So you are mayor of one of the few cities
Mm-hmm.
where urban parkland was
Mm-hmm.
added to the city parkland list,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
is an amazing
Yeah, it's
thing.
very exciting, and it was an important thing to do. People really don't realize just how much people really utilize the river. I mean, how many opportunities they take to enjoy it. Summer, winter, I mean, just seasonal. The river is just a place where people go, and when that particular project was undertaken by DCR, it was a real benefit to us. It really is a benefit that will go on for generations to come.
Yeah, and what we don't have pictures of, but something that will happen in Cambridge, and we hope to break ground soon,
Mm-hmm.
is the skate park
Yes.
under the Zaken Bridge. So that will be a Cambridge institution.
Right, and another asset for all of us to use. Well, you and I may not want to use it, but certainly for
Watching it, we might watch
watching
it.
it will be wonderful,
Yes.
and youth and young people being able to go there and have a safe place to skateboard. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, yeah, and some other things that happen along the river are the wonderful Sunday closing that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and
Ribbon Park.
and you mentioned that on the 4th of July, Memorial Drive
Right.
also is closed so that people can enjoy it.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. And that's been happening. That I know since I was a kid, because I would go with my own family, and then later, I would go with my parents, and then later I would take my children, and now I take my grandchildren, and so it's a long-standing tradition.
Yes, and something that there's also is going to be a new connection on Broad Canal
Mhm.
near the Myron plant.
Yes.
So that will make it easier to get to the river.
Mhm.
So that is happening now. So the Conservancy has worked on that. So that
Mhm.
will be, I think, linking the river with the neighborhood is a very important part.
Right now, I shouldn't say right now, it's getting easier and easier to access the river from just about any part of the city, particularly the parts of the city that border the river. Just recently, they had the bow tie ride, where the Cambridge Bicycle
A bicycle
Committee-
ride, yes.
Right, and we went pretty far down. We almost went to, but not quite. We went to the Kendall Square area, which was really great. It was nice to be able to go behind, and I would call like the nooks and crannies of the city that are along the riverfront that some people don't realize really exist. And you wouldn't see it if you didn't get on your bike or get out for a walk or have some sort of organized activity that brings you there. And that's the other thing about the organized activities that bring you to the river. The River Festival.
Yeah,
That's
wonderful.
another
The
huge...
Cambridge Arts Council does wonderful.
They do a
work.
fabulous job,
Yes.
the River Festival, which is a long-standing event that we have in Cambridge, or the Regatta, which is a long-standing. It's not sponsored by Cambridge, but it's in Cambridge. And it brings all these people onto the river. So it's just, again, certainly a gem in the crown called Cambridge.
Yes, and